Dang, I think I got everything this time.
Oh,
Yeah, we're golden.
look at you.
I'm a I'm a semi-professional over here.
It's getting good. Like that movie Semi Pro.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'm quite that funny, but it's pretty similar to that. Yeah, looks like we're up. I don't know how many people we got watching yet, but we shoot, we did like over 1,000 views on when you shared that one the last time.
I need to do it again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's perfect. That's good. That's awesome. I mean, catching on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I we get pretty good response. Their numbers are pretty steady every time. So and we got 6 people watching. So I mean, we got 6 people that
Whoa,
like us.
yeah.
So
Thanks, guys.
yeah. So what's up, Daylight Burners? Back here with George. Gonna talk some markets. Kind of talk some of the normal craziness that seems to be just a part of daily life nowadays. Just when you think it can't get crazier, they just go ahead and outdo themselves every time. Um, but it is what it is. So we'll talk about the things that we know, or at least kind of somewhat half-ass know, and make fun of the rest.
Big news to make fun of today, too.
Yeah, yeah, for
Oh,
sure. So before we get into all that, we got sponsors. We got one of them here, and we also got Stetson Ranches up there in Montana. Multi-generational family ranching operation. They've got industrial hemp. They've got some of the best quarter horses you'll see, and they've got direct to you, home raised, pasture raised, grain finished beef coming straight to your doorstep. Cut out the middleman. You can go right to them. You can get guaranteed prime quality carcass, and meat cut and wrapped how you like it, as little as an eighth of a beef, for about $6.95 a pound. About what you're gonna pay for hamburger in the grocery store. You're gonna get steaks. You're gonna get roast. You're gonna get everything, and it's just a really cool family. Really good people. Really great outfit. I'm glad they're part of the show, and I think you'll really enjoy their beef, and you'll like getting to know them. And as far as people you know George, and he's OG, longest running sponsor of the show, and I'm not sure how many of these cattle market reports we've done, but uh, quite a few. So Loma Livestock there, 1369, 12 and a half road in Loma, Colorado. You got a sale this week?
not this week, next week, McKinley, and then we go every week. And I will actually present the schedule and share a postcard on Facebook that has a schedule after we're done here. I'll let you get on with your
Awesome.
spiel. But
Perfect. Yeah. So Loma Livestock next Friday. You going 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
we're gonna go 10 o'clock again, 10:30. Even if we have to depend, the sales haven't been big, so even show up if you're bringing stock day of sale. We'll work them and wait and make stuff work.
Awesome. So they're catering to you because that's the kind of people they are, and they got a really cool deal with their online auction. If you can't make the sale, don't worry about it. You can go to dvauction.com, click on the Loma Livestock tab. You can watch it live, and you can even bid on it right there. Awesome deal. Yeah, George, you're the man. Can't say enough nice things about you, and we haven't said it yet or today, but you know what? I'll repeat myself. Best goddamn sale barn in North America, Loma Livestock.
Really appreciate it. That means a lot, McKinley. You know it does.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you guys supporting the show. I think this is going to be a long running partnership we got going on here. It's good business all the way around. And me and George have known each other forever now. And fuck, we're getting old, but
I know it's
it's pretty
cool.
cool.
It is
Yeah.
cool.
So what's new in Northwest Colorado, buddy?
Well, like I said, we got earlier Northwest Colorado, like a little bit of all places, is hot and dry with no relief looking in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We do have a fire, Pine Gulch fire, that a lot locally around Loma. It's south of where Loma would be up in the Book Cliffs. A lot of the ranchers up in the Book Cliffs, north and east of Loma. I mean, a pretty big fire. I can't. I mean, I think it was 40,000 acres last I heard. Um, so that's kind of new and not so exciting, but there's a lot of stuff going there, and it's a big one. Burning in the steep country. But as far as like, and that's, I mean, that's kind of has to do a lot with the market. The market in itself has gotten a lot better. McKinley, I would say, like even as of today out in Kansas, I heard there was some 103 trade cash cattle. We're talking fat cattle. Um,
That ain't bad.
that's a full three higher than last week. And so, I mean, up north, Nebraska and stuff, we should be looking at 105 to 108. And, we keep a little bit of optimism in there all the time.
Yeah.
There's
That's
one.
that's why we like you.
Yeah, that's what we need. Let's
Yeah.
hope we can keep this train going. It needs to be a patient ride, and we need to continue to see this, what we're going to do as far as marketing due to this drought and how many real numbers are out there. We haven't seen a big, huge push of placements in drought cattle yet, so we've been able to hold off the storm. I believe September will probably be a little bit better, but at least the market's kind of coming along with us. Kills are, I mean, some would call them so 90 to 92,000 steer and heifer kill, and around that 22 to 25,000 non-fed kill, cow and bull kill. And that's kind of par with last year. Some days over, some days under. With the week, a little bit under, but we're killing heavier on Saturdays than we have been in a long time. And so I think we are kind of still churning through them. But like I said, it's going to be a patient ride, but the market's working with us.
Well, hell yeah. That's it's better than the alternative. So
Yeah.
I I think there's always some optimism to be had. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's a shit market, but you can find a gap here and there to
Yep.
base hits, baby, base hits.
Yep. And it's getting a lot better. Like, I mean, here in a week or two, it can get upgraded out of the shit market. It's within $3 to $5 of being a what I would call just a straight solid good market. And
Yeah,
there's so many reasons why it shouldn't. But once again, I think the funds are on our side and maybe giving us the strength to hold a little bit. But you know what I mean? Another $5, it's a decent market and well above shit. And like you said, take your base hit or get as many pounds as you can get. I think as many as you can raise efficiently.
yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of the only way to look at it. Considering everything else, the cattle market's doing reasonably well, and it is what it is. So pick your spots, and you can find a few bright spots here and there.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think try to get them as big as you can, or hit that kind of optimal weight for your forage situation. Because it looks like we are kind of building into a little better thing going forward. And I guess I got to say some bad things so I don't always say good things. I mean, hog market's pretty cheap, you know. Well, those other proteins are pretty cheap, but I mean, in that same breath, shit, it's hard to cook a tenderloin, and chicken is actually harder to cook than you think. But anyways, I mean, the
Yeah.
other competing proteins are kind of plentiful. The supply is plentiful. We do have this COVID thing that everybody's been talking about. I'm sure you've heard about it, and that always throws a wild card into it.
Oh yeah. Uh, the COVID. It's always the COVID.
I'm But I mean, like, let's be honest. Feed's cheap, except for hay. Probably hay's a little tighter, but I mean, I don't think it's that. It might be that way everywhere. I don't know, but there's a lot of other feed stuffs that are cheap. So I mean, just look at the straight fundamental stuff and then throw that out the window.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the market's just telling us it kind of wants to work higher, but there are some definite distractions that can just curveball us. But
Yeah. I like I said, there's it's hard telling what's gonna happen between now and November, and then even going forward from there. I don't
I
know. Like it just like I said, every time you think they can't get any crazier and stupid and any other words I can think of, they just go ahead and top themselves daily. And but hey, guess what? Joe Biden rode a bike, and that basically means he's qualified to be president of the United States.
I do want to make like right now today I sighed a huge sigh of relief when he picked his VP candidate of Kamala Harris. I
Yeah,
mean, I do. I mean, I'm not one to want to come out and make bold prediction, and I don't want to do anything like that, like Joe Namath, but kind of I do because I mean that made me feel a lot better. I
yeah, I
just
can imagine.
this is a throwaway ticket, is it not? I
Yeah,
mean, how do they expect to win with this?
I
Honest
I
question.
honestly I
Honest
don't
question.
know.
I mean,
I don't
40.
know. It's oh,
I mean, I
it's
think we're in
wild.
good shape that way. And I mean, I think our president right now, Trump, I mean, he's doing some things that really make a lot of sense as far as pushing forward with a lot of this stuff, even when Congress is kind of stalemated. I know we can't do a lot of that stuff, but I think it gives them some, it gives the businesses some leeway, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I like the. I'm typically not a huge fan of executive orders because I'm
Me
the whole
neither. I'm
power
not either.
power deal.
But the
But when
tax
it's
cut,
yeah, what if taxation is theft, which I think it is, I believe
oh,
that it truly is theft, then any any executive order that gives me a little bit back of my own money, I'm all right with.
see, that's where we're pliable because yeah, an executive order is pretty much what you. I mean, we don't think that's right in a lot of ways, but when it has to do with taxes, I think it's totally right. If you're cutting taxes only to cut taxes, I mean, I you
Hmm.
can't be against that. I just can't see it. You know, I think that was a pretty good move.
Yeah, I think so too, and it is really hilarious watching them try to argue uh, against it too. It is. It's
Oh
really quite
my.
comical. Well, Trump says, we're gonna let you keep a little more of your money. He wants to end Social Security. I'm pretty okay with that too.
Yeah.
I think if you're not collecting Social Security or just about to collect Social Security, everyone else on Earth is probably just okay with seeing Social Security just die a slow and painful death.
And just like you said, the words they put in his mouth, the distrust that the media is building in itself is just nobody's gonna believe him anymore. Why would you?
Yeah, it's just insane. I don't know, like I don't know how they think this is a winning strategy. Like
I That's what I'm
uh,
getting.
when when you look, especially this COVID thing, when you really look at the hard numbers, like we're 6 months into it basically now, and there's 150,000 dead allegedly, depending on how you want to count their numbers. And we're a country of 330 million, give or take. It's a pretty it's pretty minimal on a on an overall percentage basis. And in the meantime, in 3 months, we lost a third of the GDP. It's it just doesn't add up, and like the media and the Democrats in particular have just fear mongered into this deal, and I think it's just a last ditch effort. I'm not saying that COVID is not a real thing. I just don't think it's as serious as it's just been way overblown, and then it just gave all these tyrant governors just a little bit of room, and they just bam clamped down on everything. And I just don't know how they see it playing out as a good thing.
The same way as this presidential ticket. Like that's why I want to make a couple bold calls. And I would think that Trump's going to win 40 plus. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, you know how usually you follow a Republican with a Democrat. After 8 years, usually makes a rotation. I think South Dakota's Christy Nome, or what? How, I don't know if it's saying that. I think if she'll take it, I think she wins the next time around. Back in the what would we be 2024?
Yeah, you know what? I'd vote for Christy Noem right now. Noem. No,
Absolutely.
I don't know how you say her name, but
Me
I'd
neither.
vote
Me
for her.
neither. But I think she's been just great.
Yeah, so like I'm flying out to Nebraska to I'm officiating a wedding here next month.
Well, you
And so I
didn't
was
say.
flying into yeah, I was flying into Sioux City, Iowa, and twice I got emails saying that one of my legs of my flight got canceled. And then I got on the phone with them today, and they're like, "Oh, well, there is no flights into Sioux City, Iowa, because of COVID." As well, so checked. Said, "How about Sioux Falls?" And there was a little bit of miscommunication with the customer service lady. She wasn't real handy with her geography, but I said, no, it's in South Dakota. Well, all right, no problem. We got a flight into South Dakota. And I thought, that's awesome because South Dakota ain't shut down yet, so they ain't shutting down for shit. I'll be able to fly in, no problem.
And did it work?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, I mean, what the? I mean, that just goes to show you. I just love what she's done there.
She's one I can get behind. She's probably obviously she's probably not going to be right along, 100% along with me ideologically, but the stuff she's doing makes sense, and I think she deserves a big round of applause for keeping that state afloat and actually kind of thriving right now.
I'd say thriving, and I would say she follows some of the. I mean, she probably just like everybody who don't get along completely, but the way she handled it was fairly libertarian. The way just make your own decisions and be smart.
Yep. Yeah, and it worked out well. They had that plant shut down, but it is what it is. But by and large, shit, they handled it like a champ. And I yeah, she's I wonder what her aspirations are because she's pretty sure to skyrocket in name recognition here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have a little bit of power to go. I mean, and that's getting a long ways out from what we're dealing with here, but I do, and I think going back to what we were talking about, it just almost blows me away this Democratic ticket right now. And I know this is not a political report show, but I just,
Hell with it.
you
Hell with
know,
it.
but
It's
I've been thinking about it all afternoon, although I've been relieved. I mean,
yeah. Well, you could not have picked a more unlikable candidate as your VP. I don't think.
that's what I mean.
I mean, man.
I mean, I don't even know if I can't think. I mean, that's like picking maybe the character off the Cowboys that kills John Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and not that I think that's somewhere similar and maybe not quite as bad. I think that guy might have had more of a chance, I guess.
I think I'd probably trust Bruce Dern
Oh,
rather than Kamala Harris. But hey, you know what? She is going to solve this criminal justice issue. Did you know that? Because she's got a long track record of putting a whole bunch of those fuckers in prison. So she damn sure ought to be able to get them out.
yeah, she knows most of those case files are in her banker's box
Hmm.
on her email
Exactly.
server, right next
Oh
to
yeah.
Hillary's.
Well, and I'm sure Hillary is giving her instructions on how to keep a server in a bathtub and shit.
Sure, in self-destruct meltdown mode.
Yeah, yeah, subpoena be damned. Oh man.
It's the best news that I've heard in since probably February, or since I got married, probably post pre-COVID. I mean, this
Yeah,
could be the best post-COVID news that I've heard.
yeah. And when I say unlikable, I think Elizabeth Warren is
Oh,
probably a worse person to deal with, but Elizabeth Warren is kind of funny, not intentionally, but
I
like
know.
I get a lot of amusement out of Elizabeth Warren. Like there is just nothing going for Kamala Harris on the likability scale. Like she's not
I
funny. Like I don't think black people like her either. That's the bad part.
Do women like her? I mean, and I don't know. I
I,
mean,
I don't know. Well, Aaron, our buddy Aaron sent me, or he posted an article today that Trump had donated to Kamala Harris's campaign, and I was like, hey, Trump's just gonna have a field day with that because he's gonna be like, yeah, worst money I've ever spent. Terrible job.
I really can't wait. I was thinking if these debates really do go on, there might be 1 billion viewers.
Yeah, and probably three for the vice presidential debate. Give me
Oh,
Pence and Kamala Harris. Uh, there are a large amount of like
oh,
self-injuring things I would rather do to myself than watch a debate between Pence and Kamala Harris.
this is this is epic. I mean, that matching. I mean, that wow. And the Biden Harris ticket. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you got and he's supposedly you know champion of all the blacks. 'Cause if you don't think you can vote for Biden over Trump, then you ain't black. And he's pretty sure that they all think the same. There's no diversity of thought among black people, according to Joe Biden, the champion of blacks.
I don't. I don't get. He actually says this. This is his words.
I well, do
These
you
are
ever
his
see any
words.
do you ever see anything from the Babylon Bee, the satire website?
No.
They're a better version of the Onion, and
Okay.
here about a month and a half ago or something like that, they one of their satire pieces like or is an editorial piece from the Babylon Bee staff, and they said we are no longer going to make up stuff about Joe Biden for satire. We are simply going to reprint the words that he says because you cannot out satire Joe Biden. He is just a walking satire.
He is. He truly is.
He really is. And like they've got these national polls saying like even with a Trump surge that Biden's ahead by like 6 points, and I'm just
Uh,
calling bullshit on all
what?
of that.
Biden might have 6 points total. Total.
Oh,
I mean 6.06%.
yeah, yeah. He I mean he's got the like the super hard left, and then like the super warhawk wing of the Republican Party that hate him, and they are excited for Joe Biden just because they hate Trump.
Yeah. And we're talking
And
about
then
Mitt Romney, maybe, and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Mitt
Yeah.
Romney and
Mitt.
like the John McCain wing of the Republican Party hates Trump, but and
Yeah.
then you got the Democratic establishment, all the elected officials that hate him, and then I think you got like all those swing voters that voted for Obama in the Rust Belt and then voted for Trump. They're just like they're regular folks, you know, blue collar,
Yeah.
working man type deal, and this like radical left wing shit. I don't think it's gonna appeal to a whole lot of them. And I don't know. I think they're getting pushed out by the AOC wing, and they don't know what to do about it. Like Pelosi has just been buffaloed this like whole Trump term because she's got to cater to those nut jobs.
Oh, I mean, I totally agree with you. I don't think people are that crazy. And I mean, this
I
ticket
don't
is,
either.
I mean, like the McCain Republicans and the Mitt Romney Republicans. I mean like the McCain or the not the McCain, but definitely the Romney presidential election in his run was, I mean, geez, no try almost. I'm not saying no try, but you know what I mean.
It felt like that, and I'm sure he was trying his ass off. He's just
I
like that
know.
fucking blah.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
even when he tries to stand up to Trump, he still looks like a puss when he does it.
I know it just doesn't do well. And you know, like the our governor, when you want to talk about uh governors that want to get power, we have kind of one of those too. I mean, he's not as bad as others, I'm gonna say that, but I just don't get it. And they take the other
Yeah,
side completely of Trump. It almost makes the
yeah,
perception that makes the perception they want to kill Trump so bad they're willing to harm businesses. And I mean, I think
yeah.
somebody from either side of the aisle could maybe make perceive that, don't you?
Oh, I think so. It's there's a lot of people that go to places besides cable news now for to get the news because they're tired of just the it's just constant Trump regardless of what side, but there's really only one outlet that's pro Trump, and that's Fox News, and even they're not a huge fan of him at times.
Oh,
And then everything else is just like solidly anti-Trump, whether it be network news or cable news. And and they're in the meantime there's a whole bunch of other really important shit going on, and they're talking about the latest Trump tweet. Like, well, how it's like when a cop arrests you for jaywalking. Like, why don't you go and find some real crime and instead of just nitpicking? And I think that's how a lot of people feel. I think anyways, and maybe we're just in our rural bubbles that we don't know how the urban folks think. But I'm the optimist like you are. I gotta give people the benefit of the doubt, and I think as a mob, people are stupid as shit. But I think when it comes down individually, and that's what voting is at the end of it, is a very individual thing. Unless you're dead, and then it's a very Democratic Party thing. But um,
We need a drum roll. Like you need a sound guide. You know what I mean?
I know I need to get a soundboard so
Yeah.
I can
You
ping
need
that
one
shit
of
in.
those. Yeah.
And but yeah, I think at the end of the day, when the people like actually get in the booth, and especially like the silent majority is such a brilliant term, because that's what it is. It's a majority of the people
Yeah.
that, I mean, yeah, they may not. There's a lot of people that, I mean, there's a lot of people that like my page that would never share any of the stuff that I put on my page, but they'll like it all day long. And but those are the people that'll, like, when they get in the booth and they're like, I can't vote for these fucking wackos. Like, even like any normal issue, they have such a just a crazy left wing solution for it. Like, well, how did you get from here to communism?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
at least make a couple more steps, because otherwise you're just jumping off a cliff.
let's be honest. Rick James, the original Rick James is not going to vote for
Mm.
Biden Harris.
No,
No
fuck
way.
no,
No way.
no way.
No
He may not
way.
vote for Trump,
But he's not
but
going to
I
vote for.
guarantee, yeah, I guarantee he's not voting for somebody like that. And I don't know. I just it's and when you go back to some of like the founding documents and the arguments about, when they were making the Constitution and everything, and then like Washington's farewell speech when he talks about how dangerous political parties are. Like, we are witnessing like that, like,
Yep.
for all their faults, and those guys had plenty. Like, they had a lot of insight. They had it was almost like I mean, they were way ahead of their time. And when he
Because
said
they lived it.
don't get in, yeah, don't get into the political parties, because then it becomes what we have now, just a two-party monopoly, a duopoly. And there's just there's it's always, and they're very good at the manipulation deal. It's always, my side good, your side bad, and they're very good at playing into that tribalism. In the meantime, while they got everybody at each other's throats, they're just a whole bunch of shit going on that just goes by unseen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I like you said, the silent majority rules that we saw at one time in 16, and it's
Mm-hmm.
still there. And the founding fathers did have a lot of foresight because they lived through uh, tyranny at the government level, pretty much, and government
Yeah.
way over the people. I
Yep.
mean, it was in their recent memory to prevent
Yeah, for
that.
sure. Yeah, it was but I don't know, like I said, at the end of the day, this is pretty well exactly what Washington warned about. Is you got a bunch of elites that control two parties, and they pit the rest of the country against each other so that they maintain power. And the guy at the top may change, changes every 4 years or 8 years, but everybody below him, shit, well, Joe Biden, perfect example, 40 something years in federal government, and now he's acting like he's going to change something when he's been a part of it for almost a half century.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I mean, that just goes. I think the silent majority wants no part of that. And
Yep.
I mean, like you said, no matter what side of the aisle you are, especially there's a big side that drives like my papu, my grandpa used to. He used to take his half of the road out of the middle.
Yeah.
And that's not kosher while driving, but I think while people living their life, I mean, I think a majority want to stay in there, not too extreme.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I don't know. I wonder how much the media propaganda has worked. I think a lot of people are starting to see through it. I just don't know how many, and I don't know for you know or how long that'll hold. But I don't know. I
I,
just don't see there. Donald Trump is very beatable right now. I mean, he has had a shit show after shit show in his first term, and now the economy is in the tank. He's very vulnerable, but I just don't see Joe Biden being the guy that can take him down.
no, and I mean, he should be vulnerable, but let's be honest. If you are legit, okay, COVID really did whack some things. And then he had these governments that are governors, like you said, that are pretty much totally against him. And then the media, but I think this and the economy really wants to bustle. So I think the silent majority, once again, I mean, almost has, I'm not saying sympathy for him, maybe that's the wrong word, but situational sympathy, maybe. I don't even know if
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think so. And and that term is super cliche. We know it is. We know
yeah,
it. I'm sure you cringe a little bit saying it. I know I do.
yeah.
Because it's overused. We know, but that's the brilliance of it. Is it describes it perfectly. And I don't know. I think there's a lot more common sense out there individually. It's just there's a lot of mob think right now, and that's when people get really stupid. And I don't know. I think
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Like I said, at the end of the day, though, that ballot box is just you and the ballot,
Yeah, you're
um,
right.
or the coffin if you're a dead Democratic voter. But
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Then
neither
you get
near
to
here or
vote
there.
four
But
times.
yeah, um, but then I think there's a lot of people. It showed it last time. There was a lot of the polls weren't that far off. They were all within the margin of error, but they like were so confident about Hillary Clinton winning, despite of the how close the polls had it. And now I don't think there's any integrity left in the polls, and whether that be the polling, the pollsters fudging numbers, or just people outright lying when they do answer it. Which I don't know. Have you ever answered one of those polls?
No,
I never have either. I've
I
never
don't know
even
if
been
I've ever been
contacted for
called.
one.
I think if you have like an R next to your name, you might not get called. Or is that too much? Is that saying too
Oh,
much?
I don't know. I think it's probably pretty true.
I mean,
Um,
don't they say that they heavily poll the Democrats?
I think so. I've never looked into, but and I still don't know how how you conduct a truly accurate study of a country of 330 million people when you select 3,000, because there's way more than 3,000 little inlets, outlets, little communities throughout the country, and we're not talking just one town to another, but like a county region. There's 64 counties in Colorado, and every one of them has a little different something that makes them unique. and then you multiply that by 50 states, and then within like Denver, there's different communities within Denver that are going to vote different ways, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, like
I
the
don't know how you get an accurate picture of with using 3,000 people.
oh, I know. Well, then exactly, Well, then there was a show on Facebook. I'm just flipping around, but it said Sleepy Joe just picked the most unpopular, condescending socialist in America, and that's kind of how I feel.
Mm.
That
She
kind of
is
mirrors
uh
my feeling.
she is a younger black-ish Hillary Clinton.
Oh
Like,
wow!
not sure she's actually a person. Like, it's a robot or something.
I, oh, I just still can't get over it. But I mean, just hallelujah! I think, and
Yeah, he
maybe
didn't
it's getting a
like
little.
he's got a hard enough go, but
Maybe
like
they
he
know
made it that
something we
much
don't.
worse.
Maybe they do.
Maybe.
And I don't want to get too
Well,
cocky. The race isn't over. I mean, we know that, but wow.
well, what I don't get is like typically when you pick your VP slot, the strategy behind that is you help carry a big swing state, or you bring a like Pence was called on board to get the evangelical Christian vote, and
And that
so
kind of
Kamala
steady
Harris,
nature. So
yeah, so Kamala Harris is going to deliver you California, but um, this beer can with a D next to it would carry California.
yeah.
So that there's no strategic value there. Um, she's black. That's what she you know associates herself with or identifies as. I guess that's the terminology nowadays. I think her dad is Indian, or one of her parents is Indian, and but she's supposed to get the black vote. Well, she put thousands of black guys in jail for weed, not just jail, but prison for weed.
Oh,
Uh,
not hundreds, not hundreds.
Thousands. And we're talking California, big state, biggest state in the
Yeah.
country, population wise. So we could be talking, hundreds of thousands. I don't know the exact numbers, but for sure thousands. She's
And the weed's
also
legal now.
has,
Let's make that clear. Especially in
yeah,
California.
yeah, and those guys are still in prison. That's the bad part about it.
Still in there. And they
Yeah,
have
and
families,
then
I would assume, that are pretty
yep,
upset about the whole deal right now. And
yeah,
if that's hundreds of thousands of people, how many people are connected to those people? That's
yeah.
why I mean I made a call that fucking the Trump will take California. That might be way crazy. Throw the crazy
And that
part.
would be
This
really
is where
cool.
I wish you had the soundboard that
I
put
know it.
the crazy
Oh,
sound there, but wouldn't that be
crazy
crazy?
town. Oh man, yeah, it could happen, and still be probably the second most unpopular political candidate of all time behind him in 2016 or I guess it'd be third place. First place being
Yeah.
2016 Hillary Clinton, and second place being 2016 Donald Trump.
Oh,
Uh,
and I agree. And the thing is, you know, you just gotta applaud him for freaking trying to take those shots. Holy
yeah,
criminy.
yeah, and I just I don't know. I still the more and more the way shit plays out, uh, and the media has just got so much more ridiculous. Like, and CNN is the fucking worst. God damn it. I've already got several
They're
more Joe Biden can ride a bike memes in my arsenal. Uh,
well, it needs and I mean the one thing did, and this is way off subject, but this is how my mind works. You know me.
Yeah,
Did Kane Brown really get lost in a 30-acre pasture?
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah,
I saw you
yeah,
reshare that and I never heard about that. And then I read about it.
yeah, yeah. He got lost for 7 hours on 30 acres, and
Um,
and I guess he came. He went on a show. My wife was telling me she did. I didn't do a whole lot of research. I read the initial article. I honestly don't know who he is. I know he's a bro country singer, but that's all I know. I don't know any of his
I
songs.
think he still votes for Trump. I want to put that as a disclaimer. He's not going to vote
Well,
for Harris.
he can be a common sense guy in that sense and still be a bitch when it comes
Yeah. I
to
mean, I get
topography.
a heavily wooded 30 acres, I guess, but
But still, like 7 hours later, you couldn't make it across that thing.
he had to cross his same foot tracks 78 times.
At least.
He crossed them so many times he started following them and they brought him right back there.
So I guess what he went on a show to clarify what had happened, and they got lost. They called one of their friends who was an outdoorsman.
Oh, okay. That's
Uh,
handy.
yeah, because as he admitted in the interview, he's not a country boy, even though he sings about
He
being a
sings
country
about
boy.
stuff down at the holla and
I'm
bucking
sure.
bells. Okay.
I
Okay.
can't. I can't. I won't speak out of turn because I've never
Don't
heard a
let me
single song of
interrupt
his.
you.
So,
Go ahead.
but
Yeah.
I don't know what he sings, but I'm sure the genre that he's associated with will talk about a bonfire down at the holler with a bunch of girls shaking their booty on the bed of a pickup. So
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yep.
guessing
Shaking
that
the
is
honey
what
maker.
his I'm guessing that's what his songs are about, but he's not a country boy as he admitted. And so anyway, his buddy that knows the outdoors a little bit came and got him, and then ran out of gas in their four wheeler on the way back, and then they had to call the cops to come get them. I guess.
I used to catch my horses in a 100-acre trap every morning. I mean, you can't walk out there. That's what I mean. I mean, the four-wheeler running out of gas.
Yeah, yeah,
Technically,
that's what I'm
maybe even
saying.
push it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
30 acres is
Do
30
you
acres. I
think
don't
he
care if it's
lives this
wooded or not.
down at a country? Thank God there's no concerts right now. I don't
I
know.
know. Well, thank God for the internet though, because that might have flown under the radar. But dumb shits
Yeah,
like myself with have a large following for some reason. I don't still don't know why. But we
yeah.
find shit like that and blast it out. So
It was
he's never gonna live that down.
well, it was really the good start that you got McKinley back in 2004 and number two Northwest Parmley.
Yes, sir. That was well, those were the glory days.
Hey yo,
That was truly a good experience freshman year. Like the people that we had on our hall in the dorms were like I'm still really good friends with a bunch of them, and it was pretty cool. We got really lucky on that deal.
that was a cool deal. Absolutely, man. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
so damn cool. Cooler,
Yeah,
not, more cool than Biden picking Camilla Harris, but that was a really cool fact for the day.
yeah. Kamala Harris,
Kamala, I'm sorry.
don't dare like me or I'll put you in jail. 2020.
Hey, everybody's gonna win. Trump for California, maybe, maybe.
It might fuck. He might take New York at this point.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if Cuomo's nipple rings are going to be enough to carry New York for Joe Biden.
he might
I
have
just
to
don't know
hook
if
them
that's.
together in a chain like structure.
Yeah, he might have to hook that to a car battery or something to bring some life back into the Biden campaign.
Uh,
No. But hey, Joe Biden can ride a bike.
And that's all we need to
Take that,
remember as we go away from this
Trump.
episode.
Take that. All right. Well, sign
Uh,
us off, buddy.
buddy, we're burning some daylight. We better get to. I think I want to go to bed, actually. And I appreciate you having me on
Awesome.
again. And
Anytime,
thanks to
buddy.
anybody who
Anytime.
listened. We'll
You
talk
bet.
next
All
week.
right. All right, man. Take care.
See you, man. Thanks for killing. Bye.